And then after that, he finally tastes our famous dish, kushari.
This is the most bizarre and outlandish thing I think I've ever seen. Like, yeah, he's trying a national dish and he's standing on a chair with a group of people kind of like screaming at him. Like, this is like more than what you get in a Salt Bay restaurant, man. This is wild. This is 2026. It's such a wild time to be alive, man.
If you knew what you were made of, then we would save the world.
As you know, there has been a substantial reaction and some controversy over the iShowSpeed tour when he reached his Egypt leg, which didn't go particularly well, not just for him, but also I would say for the nation of Egypt. I think they've had a situation where they've been somewhat exposed to be overly bureaucratic, a little bit over controlling, and it also has reflected, in my view, quite badly on the people. Those of you who know or who regularly visit my streams know that I had a similar experience when I went to Egypt. I think that the atmosphere that you can encounter can be very overtly capitalistic. It can almost feel like you're being, like you're surrounded by money grubbers. I did a live reaction to what he's posted on YouTube, an attempt to deny their very rich, mixed heritage that is incredibly well documented, in an effort to exclusively claim and to make a racial exclusivity appeal on the civilization of ancient Egypt. And they're becoming more kind of aggressive in the way they present this now. And I think this stream, why it was so powerful within the context of this discussion, is that it gave us a very overt and opaque perspective on exactly where this argument lies at the moment. And you can kind of see that everything that they do is geared around making that claim that we, everybody who has, even a trace of the state of Egypt's blood or any kind of association with Egypt will say we are responsible for this. But anyway, that's an aside. I found a really interesting video online that I wanted to share with you. I've never come across the creator before, but he does have quite a large following, not on this channel, but as a whole. He's called the Dura, and he gives a really honest take from an Egyptian perspective. He is a native Egyptian. And his video is called iShowSpeed in My Country, Disaster in Egypt. And when I watched it, I found it to be quite honest. So I wanted to go through it with you guys and to see what your perspective on this is. So I'm going to pull it up without further ado. Let's get into this.
What is happening, gang? Yo, I don't know what was that, but welcome to today's episode. iSpeed visits my country, Egypt, and it is a fucking shit show. What else can I expect?
First of all, that's exactly how I described it, so I find it quite funny that he used the same terminology that I did. I was like, this is definitely an SHIT show. On that note as well, there is some colourful language in this, so if you are, a little bit predisposed to not liking hearing expletives, there are a few, not loads. He's not like swearing every other word, but I'm just warning you in advance what you're going to interact with here.
We're at the pyramid right now, and I'm about to be the first person to do a backflip. Let's go! Oh.
That was clean, and he might very well be the first person to do a backflip in front of the pyramids.
So, baby!
Let's take a look and review the experience, and let me give you my opinion as an Egyptian on him.
I mean, that was wild. I'm not sure if you saw that. There was a point in the tour where he fell through someone's roof, and obviously I'm not, some people have read into that, such a horrible, like that could happen anywhere. Respectfully, that could happen anywhere. You can't really go climbing on roofs in developing nations. You have to be very careful about stuff like that. But it happens.
His experience in Egypt and what I think about it. All right, ladies and gents, so we will start with this funny clip upon his arrival. Now, he is greeted with a very warm, welcoming word. You will hear this word in this clip. I will play it for you.
Why does it feel like I'm in a...
So this word would translate to precise translation would be, yo, Speed, your mother's cunt. That's the first thing that was said to him in Egypt.
And to me, I'm so glad that as an Egyptian, he was happy to share this, first of all, with the rest of the world, and also be transparent about this, because I think this whole fake facade that many Egyptians in Cairo try to put on, you know, about, oh, we're so welcome and we're so warm, that energy there, that's the energy that I feel. You know, this whole, we're warm, or race doesn't matter in it. It's like, who are you kidding, man? Like, you're not fooling anyone. Race definitely matters to you. You are an overtly racist nation, and every black Egyptian, and yes, I know several, every black Egyptian I know talks about how extremely racially toxic, and actually in many ways racially dangerous, particularly for women, that nation can be. So the fact that they've got this guy who's just literally driving through, they obviously recognize him because they call him by name, and then they make the most overtly vile insult, or direct the most overtly vile insult towards him for no apparent reason. This is what I see. You know, they rely, so a lot of them rely on the fact that they don't think that black people, and it's often the case, will understand what they say. So they say what they need to say underneath their breath. And then they come with this whole thing, oh, we're so warm, oh, you don't talk to Egyptians like that, we Egyptians, and it's like, no, this is the real. This is the real. Okay, and this, I'm so glad he exposed this.
We are a very warm group of people. Let's continue.
He said that, do you see that? He said, we are a very warm, and obviously he's being sarcastic here, which is what I love about the fact that he's revealed that. But that's what they love saying, oh, we are very warm people. It's like, no, you're not. Maybe in the south, maybe in Luxor, maybe at Aswan, maybe, you know, more towards the south. But in the tourist parts, you know, Cairo, no, you're not. You're not warm. You pretend to be warm, but the people who are pretending to be warm normally just want money from you.
With the shenanigans that happened in Egypt. Now, as you can see here, he is surrounded by a crowd of people. The guy's saying, I love you, Speed, I love you. And I don't even understand why the shirt is off. But you can see he's surrounded by dozens, probably even hundreds of people with their phones out. It's super chaotic. There's so much traffic.
That's wild. He's looking like royalty driving through there. Imagine, man, streamers stopping traffic. This is 2026. It's crazy.
I mean, this is nothing new to me, right? But you have to also understand something, that he is probably in, I mean, that doesn't look like a very ghetto area. I don't even know what hotel that is. I don't even know what area that is. I mean, he seems to be enjoying himself there, filming all the content. He seems, he seems like he's getting a warm welcome. We are very warm, welcoming people, especially if you're famous and you have money. The important thing is that you have money.
Hear that? And that's the truth. Yeah, they're going to be very warm and welcoming for you if you think. And I could tell you about experiences of people who pretended they were so nice, but they're always working, they're always kind of weeding their way to the clothes. That's what I experienced. They're always just wiggling their way towards the clothes. You know, they pretend and they fake like they're here to give you charitable help. Oh, let me just help you around, or let me show you how to get around Egypt, blah blah blah. But they're always working and worming their way towards the clothes. So yes, they are, and it gets very tiresome. Many people who visit Egypt will tell you this. Like, you get fatigued within a day or two of people just surrounding you and trying to get money out of you. It's like really irritating. I remember one night when I was there that I just decided I was going to go out in the evening. It was like 8 p.m. and I just decided I kind of wanted to go out to a bar and just grab a drink. And I caught a cab to the city centre where there were a couple of bars around. And as soon as I got a cab, I had 3 Egyptians just swarm me. It's like, I'll get you into a nightclub. I'll get you into a nightclub. Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, no, I'm good. And so, no, follow me. And then they kind of grab you. But I was like, this doesn't happen anywhere else in the world. You guys are too much, man. Leave me alone. For God's sake, in the end, I just had to walk away from them, man. I was like, I had to walk away. Imagine I had to walk away from the street that I was planning to stay on. I found a hotel, got myself a drink, and then I just went home. I was like, if me finding a bar to just get like a drink in means I'm going to have to deal with these people who just want to get some kind of a commission out of me, I prefer to just go home. That's how exhausting Egypt is, and just multiply that by everywhere, and that's Egypt. And you can't just blame it, because I've been to other Middle Eastern nations. It doesn't happen, you know what I mean? It doesn't happen in, I know Turkey's Europe, it doesn't happen in Turkey, it doesn't happen in Qatar, it doesn't happen in Bahrain, it doesn't happen in lots of other nations. But oh my gosh, it is unbroken when it came to Cairo. Very tiring.
We're very warm if you have money and you're famous. And if we can take some selfies with you. I mean, the video just goes on and the guy is screaming, I love you, Speed. And they're running after him. And this is the part that confuses me. Where the fuck are you running after him to? Like, where? Let's say you do catch up to him. Then what? They're not going to let these people in the hotel. So this is something that I can't understand. And it's just, a bunch of low IQ activities. That's basically what it is. To be very fair, Americans are kind of like that too. And I always say Egypt is a lot like America in terms of the population and the people. It's just that the religion is different and the country is a third world country. But in terms of the people, I promise you, they're very, like, Americans are very warm people, by the way, compared to Canadians are fucking cold as shit. Americans are much warmer and friendlier, and they're kind of the same as Egyptians. We're very warm, friendly people. Celebrity obsession is quite insane there. Now, after that, he goes to the really ghetto places in Egypt. As you can see, these areas have a name, and the name translates to randomness. That's the name. He's in the randomness. That's
wild. He's in an area called randomness. I wonder if he knew this, if he would have gone. But a part of this, once again, is part of the reason he's even there is because of this attempt to bottleneck and to control and to throttle his visit. Such is the need to repress and to control the propaganda in Egypt that they had to control his entire visit externally. When they realized that he was making a visit, they knew he was coming, and they made sure he had a guide for every place and this for every that. They wouldn't just let him just experience the nation. And this comes out of this incessant need to be in control of the narrative. That's where this all stems from. Egypt has an incessant need to be in control of the narrative. They have been controlling the narrative and setting the propaganda for, in a very aggressive manner since Hawass was in charge of antiquity, the antiquities department. What Speed's trip was symptomatic of was a government that knew a big celebrity. Do you remember when they stopped Kevin Hart? They stopped his leg of the tour because he simply mentioned that the ancient Egyptians were black. Like, they imagine that, turning around and saying, no, we're not going to let you tour in our nation because you have a perspective on the ethnicity. And this coming from a nation that has a black population. But no, because you didn't say exactly what we want you to say about the race of the Egyptians, which is, by the way, what they don't say, oh, the race ancient Egyptians were black amongst other things. Their actual line is, no, the ancient Egyptians weren't black. They were Egyptian, completely ignoring the fact that there are black Egyptians. So they put on this disqualifier if you're black, just like they do in the modern day. If you're black and you're Egyptian, they will deny that you're black, and they will put an external, either a suffix or a prefix onto your name. You'll become a Nubian or something like that. You can't just be a black native. They have ruled that out. But anybody else, any Anybody, regardless of how pale they are, can come and claim Egyptian status, and they will receive it with open arms. So this is where this all stems from, this need to bottleneck and to control. And in the end, they've only done themselves a harm. I'm so glad that this has happened, because all they've done is expose themselves. People don't want to visit Egypt. After seeing this video could have been such a fantastic advert for them to bolster their tourism and to pay for the Grand Egyptian Museum and to do all these other things. This could have been an amazing advert. And I think all it's done is it's made people say to themselves, I don't want to go there. I mean, just like once I went to Cairo, I was like, I don't want to go back here. If I do go back to Egypt, I don't think I'll ever go to Cairo again. I don't think I have the need to, which is a shame, because the pyramids are such an amazing sight. But even that, they've just sucked the fun out of, and it's just become a money grubbing experience for the locals to sell camel rides and horse rides to you.
Actual name of these places, and it's basically based on the fact that all these buildings that you see are all built randomly without actual proper plans that are signed off officially by the city to be built. There was a period in Egypt where anyone can just build fucking anything anywhere. They resulted in this piece of shit.
In fairness, once again, in a developing world, that can happen. Anyway, in fact, planning permission in most of the developing world is kind of a myth. You just need to own the land, and then you can kind of do what you want. So I kind of get how that happens.
Shit. So he's in one of these buildings and he almost falls into some kind of hole. And then he uses the bathroom. And believe me when I can tell you, I can smell the scent of piss from over here from that bathroom. I know what that bathroom smells like. I've been to these bathrooms. I know what they smell like. And I can smell it from here. I want you to imagine a urinal that hasn't been flushed, and the pee is just sitting in there for months, and maybe add some fucking shit-stained walls. Just like someone blowing diarrhea out of their ass, just...
That's so gross.
Straight onto the wall. And add some sewage, too. And let that all kind of stew together. Let it fucking marinate. That's the word I'm looking for. Marinate. Yeah. Let it fucking marinate for months. That's the stench. I hope I gave you a clear visual on what it smells like.
That is probably the most descriptive and clear visual that I've never wanted to be given in my life.
And then after that, he finally tastes our famous dish, kushari. It's a bunch of different kind of carbs, like pastas, caramelized or fried onions with...
Trying the national dish while you're standing on a table with one leg up on it. It's wild. This is the most bizarre and outlandish thing I think I've ever seen. Like, yeah, he's trying a national dish and he's standing on a chair with a group of people kind of like screaming at him. Like, this is like more than what you get in a Salt Bay restaurant, man. This is wild. This is 2026. It's such a wild time to be alive, man.
Some lentils, a few other things. It's a really good dish, and as you can see, I think Speed is... I don't know what that was. You know, I never understood
Backflipping for food.
Understood why Speed is famous. I never watched him. I don't even know what he does.
You're not supposed to understand why he's famous. This is the thing. Like I said, this is 2026. You're not supposed to... I don't understand the behaviors of that entire generation. I don't understand ASMR, but it's a thing. People like watching it, and they say, you know, my kids were into ASMR at one time, and they were like, oh, it's just really satisfying. And I'm like, what's satisfying? I didn't even understand the whole gaming thing, the whole twitching, the whole concept here of that generation sitting down and watching someone else play a game. Watching, like, I've got free time now, I've got 2 hours to spare. Rather than playing this game, yeah, picking up the controller and actually experiencing the game for myself, I'm going to spend my time watching someone else play the game. And and then I might even send that person monetary gifts as they talk me through the game that they're playing. None of this makes sense. You know, it's an entire industry. Esports is a multi-billion pound industry. It is like, it makes no sense, but it's so big. It's so big. Live streaming is like, yeah. So there's no reason for you to understand. There's no honestly, just forget about it. There's absolutely zero reason for you to understand why Speed is famous. In fact, if you understood, or if I understood why Speed was famous, then something would break in the matrix. Do you understand what I mean? It's supposed to be this confusing.
Is he just a purely a streamer? Is that what he does? What does he stream? Is he a gamer? I still have no idea. All I know is that he loves Ronaldo. And then finally, we have this final scene where he kind of gives his opinion, and he says, Egypt stream the worst ever.
This is the most like slowest stream ever, bro. Watch everything. I'm about to get.
You can see his frustration here as well. Yes, he didn't actually use the word worst, but look at his face. Like, this frustration is not just down to Speed. He's just literally peed off. And I promise you, I 100% empathize with him right now. This is exactly how I was towards the end of my trip. I was just so looking forward to getting on my plane and getting the hell out of that nation. By the last few days, I'd already resigned myself to my hotel room, and I'm so glad I got a half decent hotel room, because I was like, I can't with these people, man. Get me home. Seriously, I can't deal with you lot's niceness and your warmth. You're so nice and you're so warm that I just don't want to be in this nation anymore. That's how warm and nice you are, I swear.
Mad, bro, cause like we just everything, y'all like making everything difficult.
Yeah, so this is how he and
look, yeah, look at all the people around him. Look at this once again, that effort to control. I want to control everything.
you have, it's typical fucking managers in Egypt. Hello sir, hello, I am the manager. I am Muhammad and I am the manager, and
Exactly that.
if you want anything, brother, if you want anything, I will take care of it, brother. Okay?
That's exactly it. That is exactly it. That is exactly it. Brother, I take you here, brother, I take you there. I used to get this. I even got it with my cab driver. You know what I mean? So I've got this driver who's taking me, and I just want to pay him. Just take me here, take me there. I want to pay you for the journey. And then they want to start adding all these extras. Brother, maybe I take you here, take you there, then we go there. And I'm like, no, I know where I want to go. Take me here. Then I want to get my food, and then take me back to my hotel room. I've got nothing else for you, bro. Brother, maybe take visit to go see my cousin's shop, and brother, we go here, we go there. They just want to get more money out of you. Like, no, no, I don't want your extras. You're not enriching my trip. You're just pissing me off.
Who the fuck are you, bro? No one cares. Stop doing that. No one fucking cares. It's like people don't have the ability to read body language. The guy wants to leave. He doesn't give a fuck who you are, motherfucker. He doesn't fucking care. The video ends with
I'm sorry, that speech there, perfect. From someone who actually understands. These are the kind of things that I was not able to verbalize. Yeah, but yeah, like I said, when I watched iShowSpeed's trip, his live stream, I was suffering from post-traumatic stress, and people were like clouding me in the comments, like, bro, what's going on with you, TK? We don't normally see you this emotional. I'm just like, bro, guys, you don't understand. It's bringing it all back. It's bringing it all back.
with iShowSpeed or Speed, whatever the fuck his name is, basically saying that it is the worst stream that he's done in his life. It's kind of disappointing. Is it expected? Yes. Did I expect anything different? No. Am I sad about it as an Egyptian? Yes. Only because this shit's been going on for so long, right? We get a lot.
I really respect the pragmatism that it takes to be honest about the nation where you're from. Those of you who know my content well enough, you'll know as much as I love Nigeria and I'm very complimentary about it, I'm very proud of my origins as a Yoruba man. I'm very, very proud of that. I also am unequivocally critical of the current state of Nigeria, of many of the things that go wrong. And some people don't have that ability to be honest about where they're from. Many people who are going to be in my comments, and I'm sure are in his comments, are going to be Egyptians who are going to be hurt by the things he's saying. Oh no, it's okay. iShowSpeed had great time. Egypt are very warm. No. Don't say negative thing about it. No, just shut up and listen to what he's saying, because he's trying to tell you something. The millions of people who've been to Egypt and have exactly the same outlook as iShowSpeed, as this guy, as everybody else who's experienced you, who've experienced your nation. We are telling you how we feel about your nation. And it's not, please don't palm off on us. Oh, you're just misunderstanding our warmth, our kindness. No, it's not that. We are well-traveled people. We have met other developing nations. We have met other groups of people. But there is a unique, money-grubbing, annoying, persistent nature that I actually believe has its roots in fairness. It has its roots in the fact that you have built your economy upon something that doesn't belong to you. And I don't mean that in a horrible way, but you've built your economy on a civilization that doesn't belong, and I'm going to use the word here exclusively, because I can never know what someone's ancestry is. Yes, you may have trace amounts, some of you may even have large amounts of native Egyptian ancestry. It's perfectly possible. There is no cutoff line suggesting that all modern Egyptians have 100% foreign blood. I think I've always argued for the fact that it's much more likely there's been strong diffusion, and as a result of that, there's trace amounts of Egyptian native Egyptian ancestry just kind of like floating its way in different percentages through the modern population. Obviously, some people will have none. Those would be the recent migrants, of which there are plenty, particularly in the hubs such as Cairo, Alexandria, and the Fayum. Those are kind of like the kind of foreign/tourist hubs. Those are the places with high amounts and high degrees of foreign ancestry. But even amongst the Saidi and some of the native and many of the native population, they're going to have differing amounts of native ancestry. Even the Nubians are going to have differing amounts of native ancestry. Even though obviously my perspective is that people like the Nubians are going to have the highest degree of native ancestry, or at least ancestry that looks like what their native Egyptians look like. But you have this nature that is linked to the fact that you have literally been grifting off a single ancient civilization, and it's made you've had to find ways to monetize these things that already exist. So when you think about that on a psychological level, there's this big statue here. It's already been created. You have had to learn how to create products from this thing just existing. And that's what's created this national temperature of capitalizing and commodifying this ancient civilization. And you do it like no other part of the world. You don't see this kind of uniform, generic, money-grubbing nature in other civilizations or in other worlds that have ancient civilizations. You don't see this in the Native Americans or people in Peru, or the Greek or the Italians, in terms of even amongst the European civilizations, you don't see all the populaces kind of like with their economies built around these ancient or medieval monuments, then becoming these people who are just basically activated grifters. You don't see that, and that's where this has come from. So it would actually do the nation a service if you lightened up on the Pharaonism, lightened up on this need to exclusively claim and say, we are such a wonderful civilization, it's us, welcome to the Egypt, we are this ancient. Like, you wouldn't, if something was true, you wouldn't have to say it over and over and over again. It's that famous quote from Tywin Lannister.
I am the king. I will punish you.
Any man who must say, I am the king, is no true king.
I'm a Game of Thrones fan. That's one of those quotes that just hits hard. You know what I mean? Any native person who has links to the ancient Egyptian civilization wouldn't have to turn around and say, these are our ancestors, these are our aunties, these are our uncles. It's gross. I've said this to you before. When people speak like this, people from outside look at you and we think it's gross. It sounds gross. It sounds pathetic. When you have your football team and you call them the pharaohs, it doesn't even sound good. It sounds ridiculous, and it doesn't do any job at convincing us that you've got any link to the ancient Egyptian pharaohs. It just makes us think that you're just trying too hard. My advice: drop the pharaohism, drop the unilateral, binary dependence on this single form of income, and figure out that actually there are other legs to tourism, like actually having a genuinely nice character that isn't just trying to, extort people. And that will go a long way in terms of improving the perspective that people have of your nation. Because you know what? I could say a lot of negative things about Nigerians, but I would also say that Nigerians, actually, they try and bribe you at the airports. That's probably not good. Scrap that. Probably not a good example. They're just as bad. Let's go on.
A lot of celebrities, and Egypt is one of these places where it has the ability to be magnificent. And obviously when I go and visit Egypt, because I have wealthy friends, I suppose, so the time that I have there is exceptional. It's like Egypt can be one of the best places in the world if you have the connections, and if you don't have the connections, you'll have a shit time.
Exactly. See that? That's exactly what it's like in Nigeria. You really do have to. It's two completely different nations. If you have or if you don't have. If you have access to wealth and you have friends who are well off, you'll go there and you'll just have the most amazing time, like literally unforgettable memories. But if you're going there and you're kind of entering the hustle and bustle, it's pretty much what iShowSpeed did. He kind of like entered the hustle and bustle, and he just experienced the raw end of that kind of hustle society, and it just wasn't very pleasant even to behold.
So what I'm surprised here is that Speed seemingly is having a terrible time, which is surprising, because I bet if Speed were to visit Egypt again with me, for example, I would take him places and experiences that he would never forget. Like, we would go fucking camping in the Sinai desert. He would meet God himself.
See, I don't doubt any of this is true, but I think that defeats the purpose of what Speed's stream is all about. I think this tour of Africa, one of the reasons why it's had such a positive response is that he hasn't done that. He hasn't gone with the rich people to do the exceptional things that only rich people do, and only money can give you access to do. What he's actually done is he's just gone and just literally walked the lands, walked the common people places, talked to everyone, being in places where everyone could access him, not where people were kind of like guarding off and stopping him from being accessed. That's been the big difference. So this is why next time, if he wanted to go on a holiday and just have a great time, I'm sure he would contact you, and it probably be a good decision on his part. But if he wants to do the kind of live stream that galvanizes the kind of attention and respect that he's garnered from his tour of Africa so far, I can't wait till he gets to Nigeria, by the way. But if he wants to continue to do that, then it wouldn't have been a feasible way of doing his tour to kind of like go with you. Wouldn't have added any value in terms of the reason why. And obviously I don't blame you, just like you said. You and I, we don't understand live streaming, and we don't really understand iShowSpeed to that degree.
In that desert, I'm telling you, it's one of the most fucking spiritual places on earth. It's where Moses found God, right? So that's the kind of shit that I take him with. So if he sees this video, he probably won't, because it's my English channel, which barely has any subscribers on it. The other one has 1.5 million, by the way. This
flex, big flex.
doesn't have much on it. If he ends up seeing this video and he wants to go to Egypt again, holler at me, man. I will give you the best fucking time of your life, because my friends are wealthy. We know where to go. You won't be chased by a bunch of hooligans, and you'll have a much, much better time. So yeah, that's it.
And fairness, I don't think he minded the chasing. This is the thing. I know he was chasing stuff like that. I think most of his frustration just came from the unseen elements. That's what bore him most of his frustration with his Egypt tour. The fact that I know for a fact, just from the entire interactions and from what we saw, and from Zahi Hawass's number 2 giving him his actual tour of the pyramids, I know for a fact that Egypt had prepared for his arrival, and they had done their best to control every element of every leg. They didn't give him and his team the freedom that they needed to just explore and experience the people like he's done in all the other nations. And they did what bureaucracy and political intent does to everything that it touches. They ruined it. They ruined its authenticity. They ruined the entire experience. They found a way of capitalizing it. They pushed their propaganda. They did what they could, or what they thought would be the most necessary and important thing to do to protect the image of Egypt in the face of this black American who was coming. And in the end, they just shot themselves in the foot. So, you know, good on you, Egyptian government. You've ruined a fantastic opportunity. So that kind of brings me to the end of this video. I want to thank the Durar, for being honest and pragmatic. Like I said, I've already given you some ratings in this video, but I really respect that kind of personality when you're willing to basically say, these are the problems with my nation. This is just my take on this video, so I want to kind of give this video a bit of props whilst also giving you guys some feedback, and whilst we're hearing this from someone who is or identifies certainly as a native Egyptian. So hope you've enjoyed the video. You know what to do if you did enjoy the video. Don't forget that, and I'll see you on the next one.
Antiquities ever brought to light. Typical villagers are these aging patriarchs. Although many generations removed, it is possible that the blood of the pharaoh still courses the veins of these dark-skinned natives of this land of antiquity.
If you knew what